Hey, welcome to Crossroads. Folks, it is finally happening. Biden is bringing in Hillary Clinton to help with his campaign. Let me show you. Now, look, with new voter data showing President Biden is really falling pretty deep behind Trump in the polls, and, Trump's really just pushing ahead. The Democrats are turning to some outside help for Joe Biden, and part of that help is pulling back to the 2016 race when Hillary Clinton is, facing off against Trump, and they're now bringing her back onto the scene. Now, she recently helped Biden with a fundraiser, and this is now raising some questions on whether she's going to be involved even more in the Biden 2024 campaign. We'll see. First off, let me show you this. There's a new poll from Wall Street Journal that's causing the Democrats to, scramble, to say it nicely. And it shows for the first time for that news outlet that Trump is beating Biden in a 2024 matchup. Wall Street Journal says that President Biden's political standing is at its weakest point in his presidency, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll. And it says that voters are giving him his lowest job performance marks, and they're favoring Donald Trump for the first time, at least according to their polls, in a head-to-head test for the likely 2024 presidential matchup. It says Biden lags behind Trump by 4 percentage points, that's 47% to 43%, on a hypothetical ballot with only those two candidates if that were to happen. It says that Trump's lead expands to 6 points, 37% to 31%, when 5 potential third-party and independent candidates are added to the mix. And probably we're going to see a lot of independents this time around also. Now, to try to swing those numbers back, here's what Biden is doing. Hot Air says this. It says Joe Biden is in deep, deep trouble in his bid to win re-election. It says Democrats are scrambling and bringing in the heavy hitters. And guess what that heavy hitter is? Well, it says here, Hillary held a fundraiser in her Washington, D.C. mansion last month for her pal Joe. It says Biden is falling short with major demographics, among them women voters. Enter Hillary Clinton. Liberal women still love Hillary, it claims. And it says Democrats know they aren't going to get Republican voters in 2024 to support Biden, except maybe some bitter clinger never-Trumpers and Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney. So Hillary is a go-to person for them. It notes that she is a successful fundraiser. We've seen that with the Clinton files. And she knows everyone, and they take her calls, just about. Now, look, we mentioned before with the Wall Street Journal poll, and many other polls are now showing that Trump is beating Biden. Some establishment news outlets are saying it looks like a Trump victory is going to be inevitable. We talked about this before. And it's raising some pretty serious concerns for Democrats come 2024, especially because Trump is saying he's going to purge a large part of our government. He has this plan where he wants to come in and just clean house, fire a ton of them. And notably, he has created a legal avenue for a way to do that. He could, fire the deep state, basically. The people whose jobs are normally completely secure, there's now a way for him to get rid of them. Now, this is CNN's reporting on new polling data from themselves, CNN, that shows Trump leading Biden by 10 points in Michigan, 5 points in Georgia. And it says this is CNN, the news is not great for President Biden and his campaign. And the host looks a bit, well, let me just show you. Watch this.
In 2 critical battleground states, the news is not great for President Biden and his campaign. The numbers show Donald Trump leading in both Georgia and Michigan. In Georgia, a state Biden carried by a very narrow margin in 2020, registered voters say they prefer Trump over Biden by 5%. In Michigan, which Trump won in 2016 but Biden carried in 2020, our poll now showing Trump 10 points up. Note that a full 10% of those polled in each state say that they wouldn't support either candidate. Trump's margin over Biden is significantly boosted in both states by people who say they did not vote in 2020. These less engaged voters favored Trump by 26 points in Georgia and 40 points in Michigan.
Now, look, polls are just polls. They're all over the place. What's interesting right now, though, is that the polls almost across the board, well, as far as I've seen, they're showing Trump beating Biden. And they're showing this even on polls that are normally skewed left. Even polls that are normally very, Democrat in favor of the Democrats, even those are showing Trump beating Biden. Let me show you some more on this. Epoch Times says, with about a month left before the big day, former President Donald Trump continues to be the top choice for likely Republican Iowa caucus voters. It says on December 11th, Seltzer & Co. released a new poll conducted on behalf of the Des Moines Register, NBC News, Mediacom Communications Corp. It says the survey showed that 51% of respondents would pick Donald Trump as their first choice in the January 15th, 2024 caucus for Republicans. And so pretty much even among Republicans, Trump has the nomination in the bag. That's despite the rolling indictments against him. That's despite everything. Of course, now if Trump only holds about 50% of the vote among Republicans, well, there are some questions of whether some of those people will choose to vote Democrat. The polling's not showing that either. And so here we are, where Hillary Clinton is coming back. Now back to Hillary Clinton, let me show you. We'll see how involved she's going to be in the Biden campaign, or whether, the fundraiser she did is just a one-off. Biden is facing some real problems. He's losing out with women voters. Ladies, maybe you can tell me why you think that is. He's not doing so hot with them. He's losing a lot of the black vote. I think we're going to see even more of that, in fact, because of the migrant crisis, and because of the way it's eating up a lot of city funds and stuff like that normally go to black communities. If you look at the polling, Democrats still have most of the black vote, but you have seen about 10% shift. Also, Biden is losing the Latino vote. Interestingly, some of the people who are strongest on illegal immigration happen to be, interestingly, Latinos. maybe some of you out there or my Latino friends can tell me why you think that is, but it's interesting to see. Biden is really not doing so hot with a lot of demographics that the Democrats typically thought they had in the bag. Remember, for example, with the Latino vote, when Obama was elected, they thought they had, for sure about 80% of the vote with them. They're leaning more towards Trump now. And so really, if Biden doesn't capture these different demographics, he's going to lose out. And I would also add the moderate Democrats to that. A lot of the more classical liberal type Democrats, they're leaning towards like RFK Jr. or towards, the kind of more moderate parties that are springing up right now, like the No Labels. And really, those folks, if they campaign still, if they run for president still, and it looks like RFK Jr. is going to run as an independent, it looks like the No Labels party is going to have its own, campaign. Green Party's its own thing right now. They're going to be doing it. And so Biden's going to have contenders very likely, even among the left. And Trump, like him or hate him, it looks like he's pretty much the surefire bet for Republicans right now. And even the Republicans who don't like him will probably end up voting for him. At least most of them will. And I think the polling data shows that. So enter the scene with Hillary Clinton. There's a few big issues that Biden is facing. Now, Democrats look like they're getting desperate for somebody who can speak well and can campaign and can fundraise. Biden's not really doing that. He's going on vacation in Delaware and doing who knows what. He's not on the campaign trail. He's not really putting himself out there. Remember that Trump, being, pretty old too, I think Biden probably beats him in a few years, but Trump is, he's up there in age too. When Trump was president, he was touring all over the country campaigning. He was flying nonstop. You might remember the picture of Trump leaving Air Force One. His tie is loose. He looks like he's worn out. But the guy campaigns like he's in his 20s. The guy has energy. Biden's not doing that. But you could argue in 2020, Biden didn't really campaign either. He'd hold a few events. He'd have 16 pickup trucks showing up because it was COVID time and they had these weird, these weird protocols of separating people. But where Biden is at right now, they're facing a few issues. And really, I think all issues aside, look, if we believe the numbers, Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote against Trump back in 2016. That's what they say, at least. The polling data showed that. Believe it if you want. But it's possible Biden could be looking for a new running mate or even somebody to push Biden out if the Democrats choose to do that. I have noted, looks like Democrats have cleared the way within the party, changing some of their rules, where if Biden becomes the candidate for 2024, if he wins the primaries, I mean, look, he has incumbency, he probably will. If they get past the primary elections, which are coming up very soon, and if Biden chooses to step down after that or he gets pushed out after that, the Democrats are going to appoint their candidate. They're not going to hold a vote for it. That eliminates the possibility of them having to deal with a no labels party or dealing with RFK Jr. Winning the nomination and them having to go with a guy they don't want. That raises a real possibility that Hillary Clinton could be their choice. Hillary Clinton could possibly be the choice to replace Biden. She could also possibly be the choice to be maybe Biden's running mate because, Kamala Harris is not doing so hot right now. Again, all just talk right now, but it does seem things are lining up in this way. Now, next, I'll be talking about how courts are intervening in key cases against Trump right now. This is going to be important in terms of the Trump charges, the rolling indictments he's facing. The whole thing is falling to pieces. I know I haven't talked about this in a while. The cases against Trump are falling to pieces, even more so than before. And there's a key court case right now that could determine the future of all of them. We'll also be talking about new car surveillance measures, which are, let's say, odd, to put it nicely. And we'll also be talking about how Biden is looking to end all coal plants in America. But I'll be talking about that only on Epoch TV. So for the rest of the episode, those of you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, come join me on Epoch TV, EpochTV.com for more insights. And also the live Q&A, we'll be talking about your questions. Link to that in the description below this video. And remember too, we have a 25-cent sale right now, so get your subscription to Epoch Times, and I will see you on Epoch TV.